Making a deep dive. An essential requirement for reducing the risks of deep diving is that of being prepared to postpone or renounce the dive. If you do not feel physically or psychologically prepared for the dive conditions, it is best not to even get in the water. Before a dive, it is essential to have sufficient rest. Take suitable nourishment. Sugar should be taken before the dive, not after. Drink sufficient fluid, water or fruit juice. Not take any medication or drugs, and not smoke for some hours, 5 to 8. Even just one cigarette compromises the blood's capacity to transport oxygen. Just think that while, at the present time, European Community regulations establish that the level of carbon monoxide in compressed air for divers must be as low as possible with a maximum limit set at 15 parts per million, in cigarette smoke the level is on average 20,000 parts per million. This means that after smoking a cigarette, between 3% and 7% of the hemoglobin is no longer available to transport oxygen. The situation only returns to normal after 5 to 8 hours. If you feel physically or psychologically ready for the dive, having already checked the conditions where the dive will be made, you must check that all the emergency communication systems work. If you are diving from the shore, as you do not have an onboard radio, you can use a mobile phone. However, remember, a phone is useless if it has been switched off and you do not have the PIN number. If you are diving with a diving center, the personnel should take care of providing the emergency communication systems, but it is always better to make sure. If you are taking part in a dive from a boat organized by a diving center, the staff will see to assembling the emergency cylinder and lowering it into the water with the decompression bar. The crew will also take care of setting up the shot line. You must also pay particular attention during the briefing and ask questions if there is anything that is not clear. Before a deep dive, it is best to make 4 equipment checks. The first will be done by you, the second by your buddy, and the third one by the assistants before getting in the water. Once you have gotten into the water, the fourth and final check should be made on the surface to ensure all the items of equipment are in place and that the regulators do not leak water. Descending down a shot line, hold onto it with your right hand and do not let go. It is best to make a ring with your thumb and index finger and let the line run through it. You can use your left hand to equalize, adjust your BC or control your dry suit. As soon as you reach the bottom, do not let go of the line without first checking that you are neutrally buoyant. When you move, it is best to make slow, easy movements. Avoid exerting yourself. Breathe slowly, continuously and deeply. Check your pressure gauge frequently. Do not go deeper than the agreed limit. Check your computer at least every 2 minutes. And make sure you always leave a safety margin of 2 to 3 minutes from the no deco limit. If there is a difference between the information given by your and your dive buddy's computer, you must refer to the one giving the most restrictive parameters. If at any moment on the dive, as long as you are within the no deco time limit, your buddy signals to ascend, there must be no delay in doing so, and you must just begin the ascent without asking for any explanation. Whenever possible, use a shot line to ascend, as it allows better control of the ascent rate and you will not be moved by the current. Dive computers also have alarms, audio and visual, that warn you if you exceed the maximum ascent rate. On reaching the decompression bar, adjust your buoyancy. Use the weights hanging from the bar if necessary, and check that you are within the no deco time limit. If you are not, the safety stop must consequently become an emergency decompression stop, as indicated by the computer. If the bar is at 5 meters and the computer tells you to ascend to 3 meters, do not leave the decompression bar. Just stay at that depth to do the emergency decompression. The only difference is that the actual time you have to spend at that depth may be a little longer than that originally shown on the computer display. You must ascend more slowly from the depth of the safety stop. A good way is to take at least 1 minute, holding onto the line and ascending hand over hand. Once on the surface, you must rest, avoid physical exertion, and do not drink alcohol, as its effects can hide the symptoms of decompression sickness. It is best to rehydrate by drinking water or fruit juice. Finally, it is best not to repeat a deep dive on the same day. The next dive, after a long surface interval, should be to a much shallower depth.